Time. Don't miss it. Don't make me ask you anymore. Get out and enjoy the day. Beautiful, beautiful Thursday. And enjoy all the great Fox tonight coming up.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jen Frederick. This is Philadelphia Live. We are going to be with you until 2 p.m. today, and there is a lot happening at this hour. I'm going to walk you around what we call the quad box. First of all, top left hand, you see Xfinity Mobile Arena. Some people are calling that the Xbox. Tomorrow night, the Sixers will play their first playoff game against the Celtics. Last night, the Flyers did their work. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins, and many people did not believe it was going to happen in this fashion. They are now up 3-0. They too will play in that building this weekend. And then the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, he is facing some questions during a hearing today. We will dip into that coverage as well. Speaking of commerce, money, as you can see, that's a live image from the New York Stock Exchange. Back in the red today. People were expecting that, a bit of a correction from yesterday. We will talk about that. And then the other image that you see below what I'm calling the Xbox is Philadelphia City Council. We'll be there too, as well as there is a lot to talk about right here in the region. But we will begin in Washington. And again, it is a hearing where senators are speaking with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick.
But in the vein of the all too common text and email scams, phishing scams that are collectively stealing from our citizens, I wanted to ask you what our Department of Commerce is doing to push stronger authentication standards for foreign digital traffic before those calls and texts reach our citizens.
I think that's a really interesting point to try to have the origin of the call be made clear to the recipient. So because especially what's coming with AI, where someone could, have my voice, right, and use my voice to call my family. It would be nice to know that it's from some crazy location in foreign in Asia. So I think this is excellent, and if you'd like to work together with my team, I think let's go explore how to change that. I think that's a really extraordinary idea and very valuable to America.
All right. Well, I would indeed like to play that forward. And it relates in part to the conversation on export controls of these high-end ships. As the chairman noted, your budget requests a historic increase, $215 million, the addition of enforcement agents. And AI is at the root of some of these challenges. Certainly the fairly small scams, the text message scam, speed camera scams, toll road scams, but the real sophisticated ones, some of which in my own district milked a constituent out of $600,000 in property. The pig butchering scams are enabled by the AI technology, these high-end chips that can over time and increasingly dupe our citizens. Can you just add a little color to how you aim to use the additional funding in this budget increase on the enforcement, for BIS enforcement of those high-end chips that are making their way all too often to South Central Asia? I have served up to this point on foreign affairs and the South Central Asia Subcommittee, and that's how I really came to realize how focused these foreign scam centers were on that part of the world.
We need law enforcement agents, right? The budget increases for law enforcement agents and the economics of those law enforcement agents, while we're here talking about the budget expense, the revenues that these agents call in by fining these companies far, far exceeds the cost. So if this was a business conversation, it would be a slam dunk if there ever was one, right? Because I think these increases will go between 5 and 10 times the money of each agent we add. But because this is government where we have expense in one conversation and revenue is a whole nother thing, you know, a Commerce Secretary, I really want those agents. They will protect us, they will protect Americans, and they will pay for themselves multiple times.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I timely yield back.
Congratulations to the gentleman. Mrs. Dean?
Thank you, Chairman Rogers, Ranking Member Mang, Ranking Member DeLauro. Good afternoon, Secretary Lutnick. Last Tuesday, I had the chance to attend a breakfast for RAIN, the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. It was their Congressional Day of Action. Survivors came to me, told me their horrific stories, and the survivors I spoke with had one message. They're seeking accountability and justice. After speaking with the survivors, I again went to the Department of Justice to review the unredacted Epstein files, to seek accountability and justice for the victims, the more than 1,000 victims and survivors. And today, Secretary Lutnick, I have some questions for you about what I saw. Let's start with your relationship with sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. In October, you told the New York Post with colorful narration that the last time you saw Jeffrey Epstein was in 2005 when you took a tour of his house, which happened to be right next door to yours. You claim you and your wife were so grossed out by this disgusting person, you swore you would never go back. But when the Epstein files came out, it turned out that was a lie. You were forced to admit that you had visited Epstein's private island in 2012, 4 years after Epstein pled guilty soliciting a minor for prostitution and was labeled a sex offender. You brought along your wife, your kids, your nannies to the predator's island. Incredibly poor judgment. But that even wasn't the whole truth. It turns out that 5 days after visiting his island, you and Epstein signed a business deal together. As co-investors in a digital advertising company, Adfin, and emails showed you stayed in touch with Epstein about this deal as late as 2018. Secretary Lutnick, why did you lie to the New York Post about your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, I did hear that. Please don't repeat your gracious offer to speak behind closed doors, not under oath, without the ability of this committee to question you. The American people wants to know, why did you lie about your relationship with Epstein?
The House Oversight Committee and I have agreed
We
that
are
we will
the
spend
appropriate
the time
reclaiming my
together.
time. I do not accept that answer. We've heard that one. We are our own committee. We have our own reason to test your credibility and veracity. Please answer the question. Why did you lie to the Post?
I have voluntarily agreed
Okay,
to spend the time and talk about it.
I reclaim the time. Let the record reflect you're dodging the question. The cover-up continues. You know what? In your conversations with the president, is the president concerned about your continued relationship that you had with Mr. Epstein as recently as 2018?
I am not going to discuss conversations I have with the president. That is not something I'm going to do.
If you remember in that interview, you said you would never be in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. President Trump has just fired 3 cabinet secretaries, 3 women, Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, Lori Chavez-DeRemer. If President Trump has even a shred of concern about accountability for Jeffrey Epstein's enablers, he would fire you too. Beyond Adfin, what other financial ties do you have to Jeffrey Epstein?
As I said, I'm going to answer all these
Beyond
questions.
Adfin, what other financial ties? You're the Commerce Secretary. We have a right to ask this question and get it answered.
Again, I'm not going to spend the budget day discussing something I've set aside time to spend on this topic
I'm going to
with your
switch
House
topics.
colleagues.
Let me switch topics. A different and equally disturbing issue, how your family is profiting from your work as Commerce Secretary. Let's start with tariffs. You and the president illegally imposed the highest tariffs on the American people since the Great Depression. and your sons figured out how to profit from the high tariffs by buying up refund rights, pennies on the dollar, just as you are out there cheerleading the tariffs. As a result, federal taxpayers like my constituents may now owe your family tens of or hundreds of millions of dollars. I wonder if President Trump is concerned about you and your family profiteering off the illegal tariffs.
You know that is false. Here's reporting. I'd like to put it in the record. Howard Lutnick's old firm did not, in fact, profit from Supreme Court tariff ruling. It is just not true.
It's your sons. The
No,
reporting
his
is
old firm and my sons. It is not
Mr. Chairman,
true.
reclaiming
And you
my
know
time.
it's not true.
I have
it's
asked
not true.
Mr. Chairman, reclaiming about 20 seconds. I hope you recognize how fundamentally wrong and corrupt this is. I hope you take accountability and have the decency to resign before you are fired.
It's not true.
I yield.
Time of the gentlelady has expired. Mr. Mervan?
Yes, Secretary Lutnick. Last week at Samford World Economic Summit, you were quoted, which I want to thank you. It was a pro-union quote. It said the concept of taking our an auto plant out of Ohio and Michigan and putting it in Mexico to break the union's back is nuts. And to break people is nuts. Is that something that you said?
I don't know if I said it exactly that way, but the concept sounds right.
The concept, okay. And so you agreed that you want to protect American jobs and union jobs in that quote?
Yes, I think
Okay.
automotive
So
union jobs are excellent jobs
On
for
Labor
Americans.
Day, the President of the United States on Labor Day put out an executive order, which was the greatest collective bargaining and union breaking executive order in the history of America that took away bargaining rights, collective bargaining rights from everyone in the Department of Commerce. Why the two mixed messages? Why take collective bargaining away from union members who work under you? And why now are you saying you're fighting for union jobs?
Union jobs in the commercial side of the United States of America
Not in government?
are fundamental taxpayer jobs in Article 2 in the United States of America.
Article 2
Executive
meaning
branch,
national
the executive
security?
branch should be run by the President of the United
Okay.
States, elected by the people.
Okay. So you stand for union jobs because I need your help on this. British Petroleum in my district, which is an energy producer, the third largest oil refinery, has locked out the United Steelworkers, approximately 1,000 families, men and women, because of contract negotiations. My Republican governor came to the picket line, Governor Braun. I agree with him in a bipartisan way that British Petroleum is putting our community at risk by having replacement workers who are non-trained, so environmental risks and also safety risks for Hammond, East Chicago, Whiting. My community is a threat. Will you join me and ask the President of the United States to tell British Petroleum, a foreign company, energy producer, to go back to the bargaining table so that those very valuable union jobs you were just theatrical about will be saved and families in my community will go back to work?
I didn't mean to be theatrical.
Don't laugh. There's nothing funny about it. Don't laugh at my situation about a thousand families out of work.
That's not right, and
Okay,
that's not fair.
okay, I'm just putting
I
things in
said
perspective.
your comment of theatrical, I had not intended. But when we're talking about union jobs, I have been very clear. I am very supportive of great union jobs in America. I think they are excellent jobs for America.
will you
I am
make the
a fan
commitment-
of the steelworkers. I'm a fan of the Teamsters, and
Right.
everybody knows it.
Will you make
I'll
the
be
commitment-
glad. How about this? Let's sit together. Let's go through it together, and let's come up with the right move to get this company to treat our union workers fairly. I am on side with that. Let's work
So
together
the
to do it.
Secretary of Commerce, as your role, you will sit down with me to make sure British Petroleum goes back to the negotiation table so my families steelworkers go back to work?
Seems like a fair request to me, yes.
That's yes? Okay. So thank you for that. That's progress. And I'm going to hold you to that as I expect you to hold me accountable to things. Secondly, you had talked about Secretary Wright and yourself celebrating gas-powered investments for natural gas-powered facilities in southern Pennsylvania and Ohio. In Northwest Indiana, a week ago, on March 26, Secretary Wright made an emergency order saying that our utility, NIPSCO, needed to, because of national securities, reopen a coal-fired plant. I have the highest rates for electricity and energy in the country. My ratepayers in Northwest Indiana are getting crushed by those rates. It's $100 million to reopen up a coal plant that NIPSCO privately chose to close in 2019. Explain to me why the mixed messages. Why is natural gas good for Ohio and southern Pennsylvania, but why is Secretary Wright celebrating with you the increase in jobs? But in my district, there's going to be $100 million because the administration is forcing the power plant to keep open or to reestablish that plant, a coal-powered plant. Just help me understand the differences.
Reopening a coal-fired plant will employ lots of coal miners, which we just discussed.
Why is natural gas good for Ohio and southern Pennsylvania, but why do my ratepayers, because of an executive order, have to pay $100 million? There's a tariff placed through MISO that the ratepayers have to pay that. Tell me, why are my ratepayers, who have NIPSCO, the highest energy bills in the country, why are they paying for that? But Pennsylvania and Ohio, you're celebrating natural gas power plants.
Opening a coal plant will lower the cost of energy in your district. I'm happy to sit down with you and go through with you. I'm happy to do that. I love math. I love math.
The math
it's going to lower the cost.
The math is it's $100 million to the ratepayers because they have to reopen something while you're celebrating cutting ribbons for the same things in other parts of the country. I don't understand
The gentleman has expired.
With that,
Mr. Ivey.
I yield back. I thank you for working with me on the British Petroleum issue.
Mr. Ivey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I've got some questions for you about the illegal tariffs refund that the administration's, I guess, starting in the process to make. So the Trump administration collected about $166 billion or so in these illegal tariffs, and they were declared illegal by the Supreme Court. And I think on Monday, CBP opened up a portal that would allow the importers of record and licensed customs brokers to file for refunds. And I know there were some problems with how it got going forward and the like, but the biggest question I had was, it looks like only the first tier of entities that were interacting on the trade front are going to be eligible to get a refund. And I asked the USTR head about this the other week. I'm trying to figure out if the Trump administration is going to do anything to help small businesses in the next tiers down, who also ended up having to pay some of these tariffs as they were passed along, and especially everyday consumers, individuals, customers who you bought something at the store, it costs more because the tariffs raised the price of it. Now there's going to be a refund that's provided, but only to the frontline people who also benefited from charging the higher prices down the road. So from one perspective, those corporations are going to get a windfall profit, but there doesn't seem to be anything in place to pass along a refund to the smaller businesses or the individual customers. Are you aware of anything that the Trump administration is doing to help those funds go back to the small businesses and the individual customers?
So I am the Secretary of Commerce, and Customs and Border Patrol is under DHS and Secretary Mullen. So that's just, unfortunately, not that which I'm involved in. Right?
Well,
so
but
I'm not involved in it, and I haven't participated in those discussions.
Well, but hold up a second. I mean, I just saw the 60 Minutes interview, or I'm sorry, Face the Nation interview, where you were talking about tariffs, and you were praising the president's tariffs, the same tariffs that were declared illegal by the Supreme Court. In fact, you said that these tariffs are going to make it, they're going to be so beneficial to the American people that there'd be a point where they wouldn't even have to pay individual income taxes anymore. Obviously, that's not going to be the case now. And by the way, at the time that the president learned of the Supreme Court's ruling, you were standing there in the Oval Office with him as he criticized the Supreme Court for the ruling. So it's clear that it's in your bandwidth as Secretary of Commerce, and it's clear that the tariffs are highly relevant to your role as Secretary. So is there anything, and if there's something the Trump administration was doing about refunding this, I'm sure you would know about it. So is there anything that you're aware of that the Trump administration is doing?
So again, you're listening in to a House Appropriations Subcommittee meeting, and they're definitely asking the questions, all of them, to the Commerce Secretary. Howard Lutnick, you saw he was questioned about unions. He's getting questions about his potential involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. All kinds of questions. It's one of the things that they do when they do have a secretary in front of them, a cabinet member. At the same time, we've got a bit of breaking sports news. I bring you the bank, and I bring you the headline that candidly a lot of fans would like to see. Sports radio has been talking about it, and we are told that the Phillies have released Taijuan Walker, 1 for 4, a 9.13 ERA. If you don't even know what that means, like even bad pitchers are about a 5, elite under 3. So I'll say it again, 9.13. The Phillies are going to let him walk with the 4th year of his deal, $18 million. We do have Scott Grayson and his kids coming up. We got 2 minutes. We're going to be right back to talk draft, and we're definitely going to talk Phillies. Welcome back in, everybody. I'm Jen Frederick, and we do have a lot happening at this hour. As you can see, we're looking at the Phillies Stadium. We've just learned the Phillies have released Taijuan Walker. We know that there was a hearing with the Commerce Secretary. We're looking at your money, and that's not good news. And then the image that you're seeing flying around, that's Bartow County, Georgia, where there are some wildfires. If you look at your calendar, you might see that it is Take Your Kid to Work Day. And Scott Grayson decided it was a great idea. It began as Take Your Daughter to Work Day. So it works that 2 of your kids that are daughters are here today.
Yes, they're both my daughters. Yeah, the only 2 daughters I have. The other 2 are sons.
Please introduce us.
This is Hannah.
Hi.
Hannah, can you say hi?
Hi.
She's a junior at Oak Crest High School.
And?
I'm Victoria.
Okay, you guys are both really cute. Is it okay if we talk sports for a minute? Does he talk sports at home?
I don't think.
Okay, good. All right, so real quick, Walker being gone, sports media, sports radio wanted it, the fans wanted it. Are you surprised?
No, I think people wanted it even last year.
Yeah.
He has struggled to be a starter when they really needed him to, and it just continued to the point where then they said, okay, we're going to put an opener in and see if maybe you'll be able to handle coming in the second inning, and that'll help. They tried doing things, and it just didn't work. So I think they really tried to avoid doing this, but he had an over 9 ERA. That's not good.
No. Does this save Rob Thompson's job? Does this save the hitting coach's job?
I think everybody's jobs are okay for now, and I know some people may not want to hear that, but I heard Dave Dombrowski the other day speak, and he said, look, I think you got to wait 40 games. Just in general on evaluating the team. Right now they're probably around 25. So we're not far from the 40, but he said 40 is about a quarter of the season. So you want to wait and see what your team looks like a quarter of the way in. And I think it's fair to say right now this team is clearly underperforming. They are not playing as well as they should. The guys aren't hitting as well as they should. The pitchers aren't pitching as well as they should. Now they're going to get Zach Wheeler back on Saturday.
Oh, that's good.
That should help, but he's still kind of working his way back from that off-season, blood clot surgery he had. So, they just honestly, they just need to play as well as they're supposed to.
I think this is a non-official sports position. We had to sacrifice the Phillies to get the Flyers where they are.
It's a fair position.
Okay. All right. So we won't talk about that just yet. The draft is happening. Wait, I asked you a question. So the Eagles have number 23 in the draft. Did you do your homework that we talked about? Do you need a pen? I said the Eagles have number 23. A lot of people think that Howie might go to 18. Can you do the draft, how many positions they'll have to go? Can you do that? You want to step on my box? There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Do you think, we know that Howie Roseman's going to move up or move down, right?
Yeah, we don't know that, but we do know that Howie doesn't really like to ever stay where he's told.
Right.
So he will tend to move. I think if anything, I think it's more likely they move back than move up.
Oh, really?
But when a guy falls down to a certain spot, Howie doesn't hesitate to pick up that phone and say, you know what, I want that guy. I'll go up to 18. I'll go up to 15 to go get him and see what it takes. And that's what they do. You want to check with her?
Yeah. So we did some cheating. What's 23 minus 18?
5.
Okay, well done. But okay, so and then there was talk this morning about Drew Aller. He's the Penn State quarterback. He was 2 years ago expected to go in the first round. Injured, lost some games, didn't look totally confident on the field his last season. Now they're saying like round 2, round 3. We don't need him. But again, sports radio this morning was like, what about getting Drew Aller?
Yeah. So you look at it and you say, who do they have? Well, they have Jalen Hurts, they have Tanner McKee for another year, and they now have Andy Dalton, who they picked up in the offseason.
Right.
Very older veteran quarterback.
Good hair.
The redhead. You look at those 3 quarterbacks and you say, do they need another one? Well, only if they're going to get rid of one of them, and they're not going to get rid of Jalen Hurts. They're not going to get rid of Andy Dalton, who they just got. Tanner McKee's the guy who, if another team gets hurt, has an injury, that I could see them, maybe, Howie picking up the phone again and saying, I got a guy, and what are you willing to give up for him?
Okay.
And so that's where you look at picking up a guy, a quarterback like a Drew Aller in a third or fourth round. If they pick up a quarterback earlier than the third round, that tells you that maybe they're not sure Jalen Hurts is going to be here,
it's like
for much
Hurts
longer,
to
a couple
Carson Wentz
years.
Formula. All right, real quick, because I know the ladies have to get back to having fun around the TV station. Yeah. Your dad is pretty smart.
Yes, he is.
The other day.
That's a lie.
No, he said that the Celtics weren't as good as they looked in Game 1, and the Sixers weren't as bad as they looked in Game 1. And then do you know what happened the other day? The Sixers beat the Celtics, and your dad was right.
Wow, you can predict anything.
Has he ever been right at your house?
Not that much.
No. What does he actually do around the house?
He just goes on his phone doing work and sometimes on the laptop.
Laptop or phone? Does he do any cooking?
Yeah, we're going to have a break. We shouldn't have to think this
for dinner sometimes, but Mom sometimes does dinner. Dad doesn't really do dinner that much, so he doesn't really cook.
Okay. Plays in the backyard with you guys?
Yeah.
buys you stuff when you want it.
Yeah, he's painting my room right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
He does not buy stuff.
Okay.
Relax. Who buys stuff for you? What did Mom teach you how to use? Go online and what do you get? Where do you go online to get your...
Amazon.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I like
I don't
that.
know that I'm in favor of that.
All right. Listen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sitting in the big chair. Thanks for being so nice. Thank you for being a twin with a boy like me. We're both the older twin.
Yeah.
We rock. Also, I had to stand on the chair to be as tall as you. All right, here's what we're going to do. Quick break. Tell them we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. You did great.
Thank you. Victoria, stop moving that.
She's fine.
Yeah.
Welcome back in, everybody. I am Jen Frederick, and this is Philadelphia Live. We will be with you today until 2 o'clock. As you just saw, it is Take Your Kiddo to Work Day, and Fox 29 is participating. But that isn't the only company that's making sure that the young ones get a taste of what mom and dad do every day at work. Drew is watching another company do just the, oh, they're having fun. Where are you, babe?
Sure are. They got some games over here. Hey, hi from Chester County. Let me show you where I'm at. I'm at JGM. You know what these guys do? It goes back to the history of Chester County. They do manufacturing with steel. So over here in the factory, they're making cool stuff. They just made the roof for a new NFL stadium. They made launch pads for SpaceX, you know, like where rockets take off. And on top of all that, right now, they're working on a bus terminal for New York. Oh, hey, that was a pretty good one. That almost made it right in right there. So you can see the kids. Yeah, not only playing some games, they got to do the tours, see what their folks are doing. I hear at the factory, because you know it's a factory, it's factory workers, it all starts with a morning routine. Guys, I heard you got to feel the morning routine. Can you show me how the workers start their day? First of all, what's your name?
I'm George.
George, great to meet you. I'm Drew. What's your name?
AJ.
All right, so we got George and AJ in the house. All right, how do the workers here start their day?
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So they start by stretching.
All right, let's do a little stretch. Show me, guys.
First they like roll their heads.
All right, I can do that. I can handle the head roll.
And then they do washing machine.
Oh, I can do a washing machine. There we go. I'm in on that. We're doing the washing machine. Then what? What?
We do like
Oh, okay.
that, and then
That makes sense. They use their hands a lot in manufacturing.
that, and then down.
To the sky sometimes.
Oh, I can reach to the sky. Look at these beautiful blue skies we got right through the rest of the day.
Touch our toes.
Oh, you're gonna dip it down low. Let's see if I can touch my toes. All right, look at those blue skies. Let's get a shoe cam right here. Yeah, I can touch my toes down there too. Can you guys touch your toes? Let me see. I think you guys are doing pretty good. You said that was easy?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, where'd you get the ice cream?
From ice cream there.
Oh, I came to the right place for lunch. You got ice cream over there. What do you guys got? I'm hungry over here. What do we got?
We have Venice pizza.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah. Hey, can you grab me a slice? Did you have some pizza?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. All right. Thank you so much.
Do you want some chicken nuggets?
You know, I'm a vegetarian, but I love the chicken nuggets. Hey, what did you guys have for lunch? What did they have?
What did you guys have? Did you have pizza and ice cream?
That sounds like a perfect lunch. And who's this guy? Can I see the shirt? Can you show me that guy? Oh, isn't that the logo right there? How'd that come about? Tell me.
It's JGM, so it's Bring Your Child to Work Day, and we made our own bears.
Oh, that's so cute. In fact, you know, this is kind of cool. I heard, and you were telling me this, Jamie, they even had, ready for this, for the bear? They had the hard hat. Oh, my heart, I got a hard hat on the loose. It's on the loose right there. Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, no, I just got that off my head, but I'll tell you what, you can have my hard hat if you want. Go right ahead. You can take it. There we go. I was meant to lose it, clearly, right there. So, this is kind of cool. You have your hat after. Hold on a second. You were just putting it back on? She said she had her hat, so she's putting it back on. You know, this is what it's about. When you take your kids to work, you got to make sure you're meeting them where they're at. Thank you. How good do I look right there with that? I don't know if this one's staying on. I think I'll leave it to the bear. Oh, you got your bear too? Not only do they get to have some fun, like do the games right there, but then go in the manufacturing plant. Hey, Jamie, can you take me over can we go over to the factory with that little guy? Can we do a little walk and talk? Oh, the whole family's coming over. Tell me more about your family, by the way.
So this is my niece and nephew, Chase and Alexa.
Come on, Alexa, let's go for a walk. What's your favorite part about working here?
I love it. I do marketing, so every day is like different, and just fun stuff like this, showing what we do, and
inspiring the next generation too, right?
Yeah, the next generation. Here's some of our workforce right here. A lot of our welders, fitters, and fabricators.
Oh wait, hold on, it's hot, right? So I can see why they're getting the ice cream in there. They're coming to go get the ice cream. I see all the safety gear. I noticed that's the first thing it says why we work safely on the factory there.
And then it has our family collages right there. So that's a lot of our children that we have, and we're gonna kind of stop. We have to have
you got
hats.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a good call. Yeah, safety first. We can't go in the factory unless we're all booted up, right? Hey, before we let you go, what are you and I doing later today?
We will be at the What's So Cool About Manufacturing event, showing middle school students the videos that they produced, and we were partnered with Octorera here, so we will be celebrating what's so cool about manufacturing.
I love that. Oh, what are you saying? What's up, guys? They always love the microphone.
Hello, Daddy. I saw Daddy.
I don't know if I understand, but I like what you're saying. You're saying today is. I think he's got a future as a reporter, Jen. Look at this. Isn't this great? Coming soon to Box 29 in 20 years? You getting all that, Jen?
Yeah, he basically...
Oh, we grabbed that from you, Guy. Good work.
Basically,
what did he say, Jen?
He said, we need ice cream at Fox 29 too. That's what he said.
Oh, I'm going to send this truck. These guys are out of Phoenixville. We'll do that. And you know what Jamie was talking about? So local middle schoolers get paired up with different manufacturers across Delco, Chester County. And it's actually a statewide competition. And the middle schoolers come in, they shoot videos about what manufacturing is like, so they get to learn firsthand as well. Today's the local award ceremony for the Chester County and Delco folks. I'm going to MC that a little later tonight. And then the winner goes on to Harrisburg. And it's just kind of a cool way to expose all the things that are happening that you wouldn't even know in our area. There's so many things that are manufactured. Again, these guys made stuff for the new NFL stadium, and they're making bus terminals, and they're making stuff for space right here in our area. I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being the best uncle in America. Or there, whatever.
You got it. I'm going to get my pizza now, all right?
Do it, because they'll eat it if you don't. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. Again, so much more news is happening in Washington and right here in Delaware County. A disturbing story, what some police officers are accused of. I'll tell you about it in 2 minutes. It sounds like something out of a movie. 2 police officers accused of helping known drug dealers. But this one is real, and it's happening in Delaware County, according to authorities. Jill Croce is there to tell us exactly what is going on. This just sounds unbelievable.
It does, Jen, you're right. But like you said, authorities are going on the record saying this. So 2 Delaware County police officers are charged with allegedly helping a drug dealer and received cocaine in exchange for some privileged information. And this is according to the AG's office. So those charged involve Vincent Procopio. He's a detective with the Sharon Hill Police Department, where I'm outside of now. And then the other person is a patrolman with the same department, Dominic Della Barbara. And the drug dealer is facing criminal charges, not being identified. In this release that we have, they provided information to law enforcement. Now, while I'm at the police station today, I spoke with the chief. He said no comment at this time, went on the record saying that. But the chief said the borough is supposed to come out with a release today. Timeline is kind of fluid, but as soon as we get that, you'll be the first to know. Procopio is charged with possession with intent to deliver for acting as an accomplice to the drug dealing ordeal. Also charged with bribery, tampering with physical evidence, other offenses. Della Barbara charged with obstructing administration of the law, among other offenses as well. Now, Procopio allegedly informed the dealer of any known investigations into the activities. Della Barbara assisted the dealer after the dealer was under investigation. So these charges were filed today. Arraignment still to be determined at this time. The investigation also still ongoing. I did reach out to the Delaware County District Attorney's Office. They're the ones that referred it to the AG's office. Have not heard back. I'm curious to know timeline of when this all happened, because that's not really listed, how far back this goes, and just other details, kind of holes in the story. So we hope to talk with some residents today about how they're feeling about this happened with the Sharon Hill Police Department, and we'll just try to get more information. But for right now, We're really waiting on that borough press release to fill any missing holes, perhaps.
Like I said, it sounds like it's out of a movie. You know, when you're watching and you see bad guys getting help, you know, in the movie from a police officer, that's exactly what's being, you know, alleged here in this case. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, everything that happens. Thank you very much, and good luck getting in touch with those
You're
people.
welcome.
Okay. So there is quite a bit happening at this hour. One of the things that's happening, the First Lady, Melania Trump, is speaking. It's a luncheon of First Ladies, and I think we're going to be able to go there live right now.
Okay. You may sit down. I thought, yes, I do have a little help here. Okay, now I've got to get through this. 1 in approximately 345 children in the United States, is diagnosed with cerebral palsy. That is nearly 1 child every hour. For our family, those numbers became deeply personal on Labor Day in 2016 when our 12th grandchild, Hampton, was born. Her mother, our daughter Robin Ann, went into labor 8 weeks early due to a serious condition, and we nearly lost her during childbirth. It was a frightening time for our family. While Hampton appeared healthy at first, it soon became clear she wasn't meeting developmental milestones, and at 18 months, she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, likely caused by a stroke in utero. Raising a child with cerebral palsy brings complex medical challenges. For Hampton, 9 years and counting of diapers and wipes, years of therapies, countless medical appointments, specialized equipment, and hurdles most families never have to consider. But it is also a journey of resilience, strength, and extraordinary love. As chair of the First Lady's Luncheon, Hampton is the reason I chose to highlight and raise awareness for United Cerebral Palsy and Aparo Academy. Organizations like United Cerebral Palsy play a vital role in supporting children like Hampton and families like ours, advancing care, resources, and awareness across the country. We are honored today to have with us today Diane Willish, Interim Director of United Cerebral Palsy. In 2019, Aparo Academy opened its doors and changed everything for Hampton and her family. Through their care and expertise, they taught us so much about how to navigate the challenges of raising a child with cerebral palsy. And the progress Hampton has made has been nothing short of life-changing. I would like to recognize Jennifer Jones, founder of Aparo Academy in Augusta, Georgia. And to you all out there, your presence here today means more than you know. It supports families like ours and gives children like Hampton the opportunity to thrive. For that, we are truly grateful. Thank you for being here and helping to shine a light on this important cause. Now, please turn your attention to the screen as we share a brief glimpse into Hampton's journey.
Every day across our nation, children wake up fighting battles most of us will never see. Cerebral palsy is the most common motor disability in childhood. Nationally, nearly 1 in 345 children, almost 500,000 kids and teens, are living with cerebral palsy. Here in Georgia, the need is even greater. Our state reports one of the highest rates in the country, with nearly 4 children out of every 1,000 affected. These children require intensive therapies, specialized education, and unwavering support. That is why Aparo Academy exists. In Augusta, Georgia, Aparo is a Christ-centered school and Tariff Front, where children receive physical, occupational, speech, and feeding therapies every single day, integrated directly into their school routine. Nurses, teachers, and therapists work side by side so that children with complex medical and developmental needs are not just included, they are empowered. At Apparel Academy, children with cerebral palsy and other special needs are finding their voices, taking their first steps, learning to eat safely, and discovering that they are capable of far more than the world ever expected. Today, you are part of that story. Because you're here today, you're helping power the mission of United Cerebral Palsy, bringing hope, shaping the future, and giving children like Hampton the opportunity to thrive.
Thank you all. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, Mrs. Trump, it is a true honor to have you with us today. We are delighted to present a special gift, and it's on the other side, and if you can see it in just a second. It's a painting, and it's by the exceptionally talented Georgia artist, Steve Penley, and I have asked Hampton's older sister, Riley Kate, to help Steve unveil his beautiful work. If you'll look on the other side. Thank you again, Ms. Trump. We're gonna unveil it, and we appreciate Ms. Trump for joining us today and for all she does to help make this country a better place. Here we go.
Mrs. Vance, as we celebrate 250 years of our nation's founding, it's especially meaningful to welcome a new generation. So on behalf of the Congressional Club, I'm pleased to present this blanket for your baby with our warmest congratulations. Mrs. Trump and Mrs. Vance, please help me thank them for coming today. Please be seated.
So again, that's the First Lady's luncheon. As you can see, a lot of impassioned speeches there. We heard from the First Lady, Melania Trump. We'll play some of her comments in just a few minutes. The other thing that we are looking at is your money. We do this all the time. We go right live to the New York Stock Exchange. And as you can see right there, it's not looking good. Basically, what we're hearing is this is because the U.S.-Iran peace talks have stalled. Software stocks are basically not looking good, so all of this is triggering the S&P 500. The uncertain movement in the stocks comes as oil, the cost, is risen for the fourth day after basically Iran and the U.S. failed to meet about what is happening in the Middle East. The software sector fell throughout today's morning because of investors were basically digesting some of the earnings reports from some of the heavyweights in that sector. So the software side of the market didn't like what they were hearing, and then the energy part of the market just has been up and down all week. So both of those combined together means we are in the red. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We have a lot happening. We still have reporters that are out in the field. We're going to talk more about sports. We have a lot going on, so you want to be here in 2 minutes. Welcome back in, everybody. This is a Quad Box. Look at that. We have Joanne Pileggi. She's ready to go. She is at Penn Relays, and we're going to talk to her in just a minute, but I want to explain to you what we have. Thank you. We have 4 boxes for you right there, top left-hand side. That is what they now call Xfinity Mobile Arena. I call it the Xbox. Last night, the Flyers won a very decisive game against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are now leading that series 3-0. Thank you, Keith. And Keith, he has been working on that. We'll show that. We're showing you Capitol Hill because there is a lot happening today. As you know, typically the men and women who work there really have a busy day on Thursdays, and then they go back to their home districts, again, even as far away as Hawaii, to kind of work and see what the people they're representing are in for. The other thing that we have, you can see right there, we're waiting for a press conference, a Jefferson Health press conference. But as we round it up, we then end right there at the University of Pennsylvania Penn Relays. From aspiring high school students to aspiring Olympians, you will see all of them this weekend right there. And Joanne Pileggi has a front row seat. Hey there.
And we have a field seat right here. And I have to tell you, yeah, I've talked about it before. I've been a runner for a number of years, and I feel like such a slacker here. I really do. Like, I don't have running shoes with me. I don't have shorts, but when you're here, you kind of pick up the excitement of this event. And talk about tradition. Tradition's everything. This event started back in 1895. Imagine that. 131 years of the Penn Relays here at Franklin Field on the campus of the University of Pennsylvania. It's such a cool vibe being here. You have high school students, 15 and 16-year-olds, and then you have 75-year-olds who are running the 100 meters. it's a cool spot to be. So started this morning, and today is some high school events, some masters events, some middle-age events, people running relays, and tomorrow there will be continued events. There's more than 400 events over the 3-day carnival, as they call it here. They actually call it a carnival, like a festival of running and track and field. We've been watching some high school girls right behind me. Well, actually, Mark has trained his camera on some runners right now. Feel the electricity here? It's really a lot of fun. Yeah, looks like the end of a race. Anyway, what can I tell you? It's really cool being here. Yes, Usain Bolt has been here and some other famous runners, Olympians. So again, come on down. Maybe it'll inspire someone to get in the habit, do couch potato to 5K or something like that. But yeah, great assignment for me today because it's what I love. It's a really cool thing being here.
How fast do you run? Like, what's your minute mile?
Oh, come on, Jen, don't do that to me. All right, I'll, right now, I don't know, it's maybe 9-minute mile. Back in the day, I don't know, I could break 8. But
That's
I've
great.
been a distance runner. Yeah, more than anything else, I've done some distance, so anyway. But here we go, we can watch. Go ahead, sweetie. Whoa, nice.
Oh, how heavy that pole is. I don't know if you've ever tried to pick one of those up.
I know.
It's crazy heavy.
Never tried it.
No, not the event. I'm talking, I couldn't even pick the pole up to walk. It's so heavy.
I thought you were saying that you beat an 8-minute mile at some point, did you?
No. I'd be happy with an 11-minute
right.
mile. No, I can't run.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate it. It's
All
gorgeous
right.
out today.
We'll have more later.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Joanne. She's having a ball there. All right, we are going to go to another thing that is happening live at this moment. We do have a quad box of a couple of different things that are happening. That's another box. There you see it right there. I do believe this is Jefferson. Yes? Nope. This is the Ukrainian Memorial. It's an event that's happening at the National Mall in Washington, D.C.
To the Washington Monument. We want to ensure that Washington, D.C. hears and sees all the abducted children of Ukraine. We want every decision maker to understand that this is an ongoing crime and to make their decisions with Ukrainian children in mind. These children may not have a voice here today. We may not know their faces, but we must ensure that their stories are heard and that Washington feels their presence. On behalf of the advocacy community, I urge Congress and the administration to keep these children at the center of every decision they make about Russia and Ukraine. And this includes how this war is going to end. When we lift sanctions on Russian oil, we enable Russian energy companies involved in the abduction and re-education of children, and we undermine all the good work the First Lady Melania Trump did to help save these children. So far, she has helped rescue 26 kids, and we are eternally grateful for this. When support for Ukraine is reduced, efforts to bring these children home are weakened. And when Ukrainian territory is offered as a concession to Putin, we are offering him thousands of children who live under Russian occupation. This is immoral, and this is un-American. When we facilitate negotiations with Russia, we must remember Ukrainian children are not bargaining chips. They have to be returned home before any peace deal with Putin is finalized. We are grateful to the State Department, the Congress, and the First Lady Melania Trump for their efforts that they made to help return these children, and we ask for continued financial and political support on the matter. Make no mistake about it. Putin is not going to return children willingly, and we must use all available means to bring them home. I also want to thank nearly 100 volunteers who helped assemble, deliver, and install this installation, as well as our partners, American Coalition for Ukraine, United Help Ukraine, St. Gabriel Institute, and the Ukrainian Catholic National Shrine of the Holy Family. All of us are here to send a message. We will not go away until Ukraine's abducted children are returned home. And now it is my honor to introduce our speakers. Please welcome Her Excellency Olga Stefanishyna, Ambassador of Ukraine to the United States.
All right, so as that is happening, we're definitely going to be dipping in and out of that. Head coach of your Philadelphia 76ers, Nick Nurse, is at the microphone. Remember, tomorrow night is when they play their first playoff game right here in Philadelphia against Boston.
The other night, right. And what really stood out for me is how fantastic he was at the defensive end. He really did a lot at that end to impact the game. I know you're probably leaning more towards a couple of the big shots that he hit when we really needed to kind of answer. We had to have an answer, and he made a couple of those, but a couple other guys did too, made some answer shots too. So I was super impressed with how good he was on the defensive end. He was really energetic for one, but he was really smart. He was really making a lot of we were changing coverages, and he was doing them all. You know, he was really good defensively.
Nick, obviously we just got an update about Joel. I guess obviously it's had parts of practice. I guess what was he able to do today?
Well, you know, we didn't do a whole lot out here on the court. It's been a kind of double long film session, and we went through some, you know, just kind of this time of year stuff. We went through a few things we think are bothering us. We make a couple of suggestions about ways we want to cover things. So it's a pretty extensive kind of walkthrough type. It's a little bit more than a walkthrough, but not much more. And then on the other side of the ball, same thing. We just looking at some things that the way they're covering and what we think some adjustments might be there. So that was it.
Nick, when you're watching game one, and it's obviously so lopsided, are you thinking to yourself, really, like, just making film adjustments, and that it would be able to swing so much?
Well, I don't think. I mean, we played really bad in game one, and we played really good in game two. Yeah. The series is gonna probably. I don't know what would be something. Maybe the truth's probably somewhere in the middle. And that's why we got 5 more games or whatever, how many ever games it is. And I think we understand. Yeah, we understand. I mean, we played really, really well, and we're going to have to play really, really well to beat these guys any night, right? So that's what we learned. I think I'm not totally shocked in either game. I wasn't shocked after game one. I certainly wasn't hoping or expecting that, but I wasn't shocked, and I wasn't that shocked after game two. I think both of those scenarios were possible. Yeah.
Nick, what have you made of Bono's minutes in the first 2 games, and is there anything you feel like you can do to get him either more comfortable or more sort of productive against this team?
Yeah, I think that Bono's minutes have been okay, right? I think would I like him hanging on the rim a little more after a dunk on some of these? Yeah, but he just hasn't got there yet. But again, even after game one, I think I said he was on the plus minus. He was a 0 in a 30-point blowout. So he's doing some good things. Yeah, he's had a couple chances at the rim and all that kind of stuff, and they've rolled off. But he'll get up there, and he'll spring up there here a little bit in some of these games and start putting them through.
Is there anything you say to a young guy who has not played in the playoffs before and has a few tough plays like that? Is there anything you say to try to keep his confidence and his energy up?
I just watched the film with him. Then I just told him kind of what I just told you. I know you're going to be punching those through here pretty soon. Yeah.
Not to belabor the Joel point, but just beyond what you guys did today, just what feedback have you been getting from the medical staff, just as far as how he's progressing as he's gotten back on the court and all that stuff?
About like what you think. I think there's some sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's not so. I think there's work being done, and I think he's got to do it and do more and react and get some reactions to it and this and that. And I think we're going to know a lot more probably by the end of today where he is, because I think it's kind of like the work increases a little bit, and then we got to see how he comes out of that stuff. Yeah, but we obviously are really hopeful, and I think he's really hopeful that he wants to play, and we want him to play. I don't know how close we are to that at this point, but let's. I think there's some progress being made. Let's hope it keeps going that way.
You brought up about Paul George, how he just kind of keeps the scoreboard moving
Yep.
when he scores. What's that a product of? Is that you calling the plays at certain times? Is it him just knowing when he should go one-on-one, ISO, whatever it may be?
Well, I think a couple things. One is he's been, and I think you guys know this. He's been really outstanding on the defensive end. I mean, he has been like those two guys. Tatum and Brown are so good, and he's matched up with those guys all game long, and he's really doing a fantastic job at that end. I mean, it's so good. And then I think that we got to get him some looks, and I think we're trying to design some stuff for him to get him some touches. We're trying to do it at some opportune times, but then again, I give the guys some credit. There's been some kind of random stuff where all of a sudden we're looking at stuff, and all of a sudden, they see, wait, Paul's migrating down to the post here. Let's kind of chuck it down there up in the air to him, and they found him as well. But I feel, I hope I'm right, I feel his confidence growing at the offensive end here as this keeps going along. Yeah.
They've been playing really heavy drop against you guys on ball screens. Game 1, I think that probably worked in their favor. Game 2 swung back towards you guys. When you're planning for the rest of the series, how do you figure out how much time to spend on anticipating their adjustments and working around that, and how much of it has to just be until they show us something different? This is what we plan.
Well, I think that whether it's a playoff series or not, I think you try to give the answers to what we're seeing, right? So I think that when anytime during the year, if a team's in drop, this is our plan for it, right? And then I don't know, they come up, here's the plan for that. They blitz, here's the plan for that. They switch, here's the plan for that. If they send you away from the screen, here's the plan for whatever. I think I covered half of the it's about half of the things that can happen. So we just, again, it's part of like formation or formulation of offensive attack, right? You got to be ready for whatever they throw at you.
I guess to build off of that, just when you talk about sort of game 1 going this way, game 2 swinging the other way, what does, like, in your view, like not even a happy medium, but like kind of getting back to like what maybe a normal game in the series would look like, and like sort of what maybe the non-negotiables would be.
Well, that's the beautiful part about this, Gina, is every game takes on its own story, and we've seen 2 drastically different ones for both teams, I would say, probably in each game. And tomorrow we're going to all have to turn up. We're all going to have to turn up and see what story this one takes tomorrow. Yeah. Good?
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
DJ and Justin,
thanks
later.
Okay, so that was head coach Nick Nurse. The one thing that he said to reporters before he got in front of that microphone, as for Joel Embiid, he is meeting with his doctors today. The status on him will be updated. Remember, the sports people keep saying, the longer this series drags on, the more likely it is that we will see Joel Embiid in this series. Again, game 1 at home, which is game 3 in the series, tomorrow night, right there at Xfinity Mobile Arena, the place I am calling the Xbox. The other big sports event that is happening today is happening, ironically, in Pittsburgh. As you know, the Flyers beat the Penguins last night in a deciding fashion. Thank you. And Greg Payne, not at work today, took the day off, did not change his clothes since he last appeared on this show, and then got in a Greyhound bus because he's cheap. These are all facts. I'm not editorializing. and then, what? You're a big TV reporter, anchor. You can't afford a plane, whatever. Took a bus, Greyhound bus, and now he's at the draft. Good afternoon.
So this is the things I get. Listen, folks, I just hopped off that bus. Look, I got the bag still in my hand. And Jen was like, hey, can you go and pop up on TV real quick? And I was like, yes, Jen, anything for you. But yes, I am still wearing the Flyers gear that I had yesterday on for that story and was watching the game because we are still flyered up, even here in Pittsburgh. Got a couple of looks every once in a while. You know, they give you those little looks. They see the Flyers stuff. But, of course, you've seen a lot of Birds fans around here, a lot of hype. Now, this is one of the areas right in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh. They have, of course, your entertainment section for the draft. So you see a lot of fans. You see, of course, as expected, a lot of black and yellow or black and gold, whatever they call it. But it's been actually really cool. Like I said, just arrived here. They've already been handing out a lot of free stuff. A lot of people getting excited. Tons of teams being represented throughout here. Of course, you know who I'm rooting for, but I'm not going to mention them on here because I don't want to get anybody upset. But yes, we have seen some Birds fans that have been here, and it's been actually pretty cool having the Flyers stuff. Jen, but it's been actually kind of cool around here. Well, you know what the cool thing is? Look, see, look. Yeah, look at that. Okay, see? Wait, you can't say all that, but no, this is on Philly. Yeah, this is back in Philly.
Yeah.
Are you from Philly?
No, I'm from Virginia, but I'm an Eagles fan 23 years, baby, and it's still the same love. It's fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Make sure y'all follow my mans. It's all love out here. Fly, hey, the original Hurts. The original. Not Darius Slay. When he got drafted, baby. Yeah. Sorry, man.
See, Jen, I told you. See, now we got the Buddha Flyers. See, now, come on, we flyered up. See, look at. See, Jen, I wore this for a reason, though, because I knew that there was some sore wounds from Pittsburgh fans. But, I had to come through here and be like, Big Brother is in town. Little brother, Pittsburgh. We are here. Big Brother's here to show you how to do it. And that's the Fly Guys right here. But yes, the draft, it is about to get kicked off. I got to go to the hotel real quick, drop the bags off. I'm going to be back down here. It's all going to be taking place in and around the area where the Pittsburgh Steelers play. There's like an area, kind of the 5 Points, I think it's called. That section, that's where they're going to have everything. But like I said, you're just seeing jerseys all around. You're seeing, of course, a lot of those Eagles fans around, a lot of that black and yellow, black and gold. And just everybody's getting fired up and ready to go for the big draft day, Jen.
Greg, I thought you were going to be the drunk one on TV today, not some of the other people. Now wait, you have to get in early because it's first come, first served seating, right? It's like PA. Again, you didn't pay for the good seats, so you got to get in there early. What's the plan there? How early are you going to try and get in there?
Well, so the plan is I'm going to go back to the hotel because we're closer towards the airport. Now, I did not book the hotel. My friend booked it, so we're going over back to the hotel, going to drop my bags off, and then we're coming right back down here, and we're going to have a good time. And we'll try to get as close as possible because, as you know, people like to camp out for this stuff. They like to get here early. So we should be back around this area probably around like 3 o'clock and be trying to get a spot for the draft.
All joking aside, I'm happy you're there. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. And when the other shows try to call you and ask you to do this, you tell them no. You tell them it's your day off.
That is true. I should have told you that after this intro of saying I'm, taking a Greyhound bus.
It's facts.
All right, Jen.
Good luck. Have fun. All right, we're going to take a quick...
All right.
Go to the airport, hotel. I bet his friends flew in. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're going to be right back.
So what are we not getting? New graphics?
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We do have a lot happening right here around the region. The first thing up top to the left, that is Jefferson Health. They're talking about how there is going to be health services for babies and women eliminated because I believe it's a budget issue. We're going to listen in there. And then, of course, we're looking at your 76ers. That looks like VJ right there. There is a Ukrainian, basically they're talking, you know what, I'm wrong. Below VJ, that is Jefferson Health. Up top, that is a Ukrainian memorial event that's happening at the National Memorial. And then obviously we're looking at what I call the Xbox, which is Xfinity Mobile Arena. So what we are going to do is go to the Sixers.
Just how important is Kelly to you guys in terms of his versatility and everything he brings to the table?
Super important because he can impact the game without having to score. You know, he's guarding their two best players, you know. So, like I say, man, he going, you know, obviously when you don't get a shot out to you, you'll be like, but he's really professional about it. Very mature, you know, I mean, he's 30, so, I hope he's mature. I love Kelly, man. I love Kelly. But like I said, he's very mature about it, very professional about it. All he want to do is win. So whatever, you know, me and him talk about it all the time. So whatever you have to do to win, that's what you're going to do.
VJ, I think before the season you mentioned Derek White as someone that you studied a lot of defensively. I know he's mostly been on Tyrese, but going up against him now 6 times, I guess, throughout the season. Mm-hmm. What have you made of that matchup, whether it's you guarding him guarding you, or just sort of his impact on the game?
I'll be honest, he's a really great player. Obviously, he's a two-way player, you know. Like you said, he probably guarded me for like 1 possession, and then he got like subbed out or something. Yeah. But, I mean, I've been guarding him. So, like I said, it's just someone that, like I said, obviously I just try to learn from. So he's a great player. Defensively, I mean, they got him guarding Tyrese for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's great. It's great to go up against him.
DJ, I know you said that Joel's health is the most important thing, but we heard he's back practicing a little bit or participating a little bit. What has it been like to have him back with you guys?
It's great to see him around. Obviously, all that he goes through with his body and stuff like that. It's just great to see him around. Great to see him smiling and talking. Because who knows the mental toll it has on him. So, like I say, man, I'm just glad that he's okay. You know, it could have been a lot worse. I'm glad that he's okay, and I'm glad, obviously, to get to see him around here for sure.
Has he given you any indication of kind of where he's at, how far away he is?
Nah. I try not to talk to him about that because I know everyone else is asking him the same thing. So, you know, I just go up to him and ask him how's he doing, how's his family doing. Just to, like I said, just check in on him like I normally do.
After the game on Monday, Tuesday, I don't know what day it is anymore.
I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tyrese was kind of going through all the guys that are going through the playoffs for the first time, you obviously being one of them. Have, you, Justin, Dom, Bona, have you guys talked at all just like amongst each other about what this is like? Are you guys talking to other veterans about what this is like? Or I guess just how would you sort of describe what the process of those of you that are going through this for the first time are sort of navigating all of this?
Yeah, see, collectively, we don't, like us four that you named, like we won't talk about it, but me, I talk to my vets and them all the time. They probably annoyed of me, but I don't care. I talk to PG nonstop, Kelly nonstop, so, obviously they've all have experience, playoff experience, and I just go there talking to them about any little thing I see, or if this how it is supposed to be, this how it's not supposed to be. I said they're probably annoyed, but I don't care. I'm gonna keep asking.
What are the biggest questions you have, and what is the biggest advice or answer you have gotten so far in that regard?
So after game 1, I was like, is this how a playoff game's supposed to be? And it was like, hell no. It was like, for us, sure. Like we didn't match the intensity of Boston. Boston came out ready to play, like they always do. They came out ready to play. Really great team. So, like I say, I keep asking P and them. They're like, man, hell no, this ain't how it's supposed to be. We just had. So that's why. It's also helps us responding too, because we know like I mean, they know for sure. That was my first time going through it, but they know that that's not the standard. So, yeah.
Iverson told you
Last one.
just wait for the playoff crowds.
Yeah.
What do you imagine this weekend's going to be like?
I'll be honest, I seen it on TV. You know, you can't really tell how loud it is on TV. I don't like to really hear the broadcasting anyway. So, like, I really don't know. I just hope that it's really loud. You know, I don't know, but I expect it to be like maybe a little more than how the playing was. And the playing was loud, so you know we gonna see, man.
Thank you, BJ.
Thank you for
Sure.
Thank you. Someone's phone about to turn off, man.
So there you go. Interesting. He said he has spoken with Allen Iverson, and Allen Iverson kind of warned him about what a playoff crowd in Philadelphia can look like, especially with what happened in the game in Boston, where they too had a decisive win as they left the Garden, especially because Philadelphia is just playoff crazy for the Flyers. You have to believe that tomorrow night at the Xfinity Mobile Arena, it will be, as people like to say, lit, which is basically crazy and awesome. At the same time, there is some news that is being made today. We're kind of like looking in at a couple different press conferences, and one of them revolves around some of the plans moving forward for Jefferson Health. What we're being told is that Jefferson has plans to abandon low-income mothers, babies, and newborns. That's what's being told to us by this group. They're basically saying that the pediatric practices are going to be left behind as part of a reshuffling. We're going to listen in as we hear the people who are explaining their point of this issue.
These are all things that are important. If the folks who are providing the care to patients don't have time to go to the bathroom before they can actually administer a medicine or check someone's vital signs, there's more likely to be error. If there aren't sufficient resources committed to make sure that all of the things that are needed for the full continuum of care, yes, it provides, it causes more stress on the nurses and the techs that have to administer that care, but it also means that there's more likely to be a poor outcome for patients. I've watched folks from this union implore Jefferson to make the right kinds of commitments to the folks that they serve in this hospital. My grandmother would be 112 rather, if she were alive. And she died at 97. She wouldn't go anyplace else because she felt like the people that provided the care for her cared about her and wanted to make sure that she got the best health outcomes. This hospital's always had a culture where it was interconnected with this community. That has been my experience throughout my entire life. The nurses, the techs, the members of PASNAP are fighting to make sure that does not change. And so as they fight for what they need for themselves, they are fighting for their patients, they are fighting for the families that they talk to, they are fighting for the hands of the people that they hold that are in tears, they are fighting for this community. And so I stand with you today and ask Jefferson to do the right thing and stand and meet the requests, the demands, address the concerns. Whatever language you need to have, it is not about being confrontational. It is about getting results for the people of this health system. I have stood with Jefferson and to make sure, and Einstein, consistently to make sure there's adequate funding in whatever capacity I find myself, I will always do that. But I need you to understand that just as you take care of the patients, you have to take care of the people who take care of the patients. As a person who has had loved ones here cared for, I implore you, listen to the folks who are providing the care, and if you do, this hospital will continue to be successful and this community will always be grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sharif Street, and thank you for being our advocate Thank you for being our ally, and as we stand with you as you run for Congress. So everyone, thank you for coming this afternoon. Thank you for taking time, for hearing our voices, for hearing our stories. We've tried to speak to the C-suites. We tried to speak to leadership, and hopefully your voices and your media can help get the tale out. And they'll hear you because they don't hear us, because we are trying to fight for our most vulnerable, for our most precious, for babies, and for children. I thank you, safe travels, and please have a lovely weekend.
Basically, those are Jefferson nurses, Jefferson employees that are saying that the company, Jefferson, the healthcare company, is abandoning babies and children because, according to them, they're going to shuffle the money a little bit, and that would mean shuttering some of their pediatric practices. It's one of the things that we've been listening in throughout the day. All right, we've got 2 minutes. We're going to take a quick break. We're still keeping our eyes on what is happening over there at the Sixers practice and so much more. If it's happening, you're going to see it in 2 minutes. Building right here is going to be very busy over the next couple of days. On Friday, the Sixers will play there. On Saturday, the Flyers will play there. On Sunday, the Sixers will play again. Game 4 of the first round of the playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, will happen on Saturday. Again, it'll be the Flyers versus the Penguins. And we're now learning those tickets will be the most expensive tickets that they have seen in a very, very long time. Right now, there's 1,000 seats available, all right? But the question is, how much do they cost? I'm looking at a ticket site, $823 is the cheapest. You know those seats way at the top that when you look down, you think you're gonna get sick? You've probably sat there either with your friends or maybe your kids in a sporting event. They're typically like 35 bucks. I'm gonna say it again. Those are $823, $820. A bunch of ticket brokers are saying those prices will probably come down, but again, it's just a very expensive ticket, and it lets you know how hot that team is right now. At the same time, there is a story that we covered all morning on Good Day Philadelphia. It was a police-involved shooting, and it happened in Chester, Pennsylvania. Jennifer Lee is on that story. Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Yes, so we're back out here on East 9th and Walnut Street, and our photojournalist Brian Zeli is going to show you what's left of, that incident yesterday. Like you said, it was an argument between a man and a woman that escalated into a man being shot. We're told multiple times, and also being tased, and you can see right there, those are all bullet holes left behind. And I know we reported in the morning as well, but there were probably a couple dozen spent shell casings on site here. And there is video that has gotten tens of thousands of views of the police response and the man lying on the ground here on East 9th Street. Very, very difficult to watch. We've had a chance to speak with a couple people in the neighborhood about it, and they just described it as the wild, wild west because of how horrific it was, the gunshots that were being fired. We also were able to go down the street to the home because I mentioned that this all started with an argument. According to police, they say the man allegedly shot a woman, and we actually had a chance to speak with a neighbor of this woman, and she said she is just heartbroken about the situation. She hopes this woman is able to make a recovery. She did say she has heard the couple argue before, but she didn't think that it was a big deal. She says couples argue all the time, but it is making her second guess on some of those past experiences that she witnessed of this couple fighting. Now, we have also heard from the district attorney here in Delaware County, and I want to quote what he said. So DA Tanner Rouse says, as with every shooting, officer involved or otherwise, we will work to make sure we have every angle that depicts the events that transpired. And he said, having reviewed the footage we've obtained thus far, though, I can tell you with confidence that the actions of the Chester Police Department were nothing short of life-saving. And the man in this case had every intention to kill anyone he could. Again, that's a direct quote from the district attorney here in Delaware County, DA Rouse. In fact, we're going to go to his office and media to have a chance to ask questions about this investigation. Of course, the DA's office is involved. It is an officer-involved shooting, so we have reached out to Chester Police. So far, they have not responded to our questions, but we also plan on touching base with Mayor Stefan Roots here in the city of Chester later today. So we'll be gathering all of that for you guys and share it with you starting at 4 o'clock. Jen?
You talk about the fact that Chester is trying so hard to be so much to so many people. The Professional Lacrosse League right now is having their training camp for both the women's side and the men's side. You hate to see this happen anywhere, but like I said, Chester's, I'm sure you're going to hear a little bit of that as you speak with those guys later today. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, we've got 2 minutes. A quick break. We're going to come right back. We have a lot happening, and you're going to want to see it right after this. warrantless government spying. What is that? Well, it's something that Representatives Lauren Boebert and Thomas Massie say should not happen. You know, both of these people, they're much aligned with each other. They're often speaking together. So we're going to listen into what they have to say about warrantless government spying.
And this is one of the most frustrating things I've run into since I've been in Congress. No accountability. I'll tell you what, we'll have accountability if when somebody goes to work, it's not just fun and games. If they infringe on your rights, on your constitutional rights, they could be privately and personally sued for that. With that, I want to turn over the podium to my friend Naomi Brockwell and thank her. She's an expert on privacy. This is what she does. This is, she eats, sleeps, and breathes this topic, and she's been very good at helping us conceive of this bill. So I give you Naomi Brockwell.
Thank you so much, Congressman Massie. So this year, we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, which is really exciting. But if we look back to why we needed a Declaration of Independence in the first place, it was to counter egregious abuse of power. That is one of the big reasons why we had a revolution. So when the Declaration was signed, when the Constitution was written, when the Bill of Rights was written, the founders intentionally wrote something called the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment was a direct response to the egregious abuse of power happening from the king and the king's men. They had things called general warrants. These basically gave the king's men a permission slip to rifle through the things of all citizens, have unfettered access to everything in their lives. And this was used to target dissent. Anyone who criticized the crown became a target. And when you have unfettered access to everything in a person's life, you can piece together any fragments that you find to form whatever narrative you want about that person and justify going after them. Now fast forward, it's 2026. We're meant to have a Fourth Amendment that specifically requires judicial oversight. Law enforcement is not meant to decide its own limits of power. We are meant to have a judge sign off on it. Law enforcement is meant to make their case before a judge, and the judge has to agree that this is warranted to intrude on that person's life. Unfortunately, we have lost the Fourth Amendment in the digital age. We have law enforcement buying troves of data from data brokers. We have them directly querying the databases of companies, and they are skirting all warrant requirements to do this. This is not what the Fourth Amendment intended. So the Surveillance Accountability Act is meant to fix this. It's meant to say, if you want to do a search on someone, if you want to invade their life, you need a warrant and you need a judge to sign off on it. You need that judicial oversight. So I really hope that the Surveillance Accountability Act can help fix this. The most important part of this, as Congressman Massie already said, is the private right of action. If you don't get a warrant, then people can hold you accountable. I think this is tremendously important. So thank you all for caring about this issue. I think it gets more and more important as AI ramps up and we get better technology that allows us to sift through this data. I'm going to hand it over to Congressman Boebert.
So I want to introduce my co-chair of the Second Amendment Caucus, Lauren Boebert. We both understand that you can't have a Second Amendment if you don't have a Fourth Amendment and a First Amendment. All of these rights go hand in hand. And she's been a stalwart defender of the Second Amendment and also of the Fourth Amendment. So she is the co-lead on this bill. We're introducing this together today. And I give you Lauren Boebert from Colorado.
Thank you, Co-Chair. It has been an honor to serve alongside Congressman Thomas Massie, someone who has led on constitutional rights issues well before I arrived here in Washington, D.C. He was someone that I looked to for guidance as soon as I did get here, and I knew that this would be an ally for me, that he and I could work hand in hand in protecting the rights of American citizens. And today I'm proud to stand with my co-chair, my colleague, Congressman Thomas Massie, to introduce the Surveillance Accountability Act. Our bill, it finally puts an end to the deep state's unconstitutional spying on American people. There's been a lot of talk about FISA and 702 and warrants for the past few weeks now, but I don't think that that's where the issue ultimately lies. Sure, it is a problem when any American citizen is looked into without a warrant, But it doesn't end under FISA. It doesn't end under 702. The Biden FBI, they weaponized their Department of Injustice and opened up Operation Rampart 12 to target me, Representative Gosar, and soon to be Governor of Arizona, Andy Biggs, and they ripped through my campaign mileage. They went through my bank statements, my toll records, trying to manufacture a scandal. This is something that took me 5 years to learn that it was even opened up. They wasted a full year using federal resources, going after me, and their own prosecutors even called their allegations embarrassing and completely incredible. They found nothing because there was nothing. Every day, federal and local agencies are running warrantless facial recognition scans on millions of innocent Americans. Even within the Rampart 12 documents that I saw, facial recognition was used to see if my family, who I brought into the United States Capitol, was also in crowds on January 6th. It is right there in plain language saying that they used facial recognition to try to determine that. They're scanning our faces in public places, at protests, even at our children's schools. The government is building secret databases they can go through anytime that they feel like it. They're blanketing our neighborhoods with flock cameras, and every single one of you should be saying, "What the flock?" I mean, this is an absolute egregious reach on our Fourth Amendment rights. They're creating a digital footprint of your entire life without a single warrant or even probable cause. Your morning commute to work, it's tracked. Dropping off your kids at their soccer practice, that's logged. Visiting a church or a gun range, recorded forever in a government accessible database. This is happening right now in cities and towns across America, and the federal government is happily buying the data and pressuring local police to share it. That's right, the Fourth Amendment should not be for sale, yet your federal government is purchasing your data from these third-party companies. The Surveillance Accountability Act ends this once and for all. Under our bill, our government-initiated search, any government-initiated search, must be supported by a warrant based on probable cause, just like the Fourth Amendment demands. If the government wants to search you, they go to a judge and prove they have probable cause. That's what our founding fathers intended. That's what every single one of us swore an oath to protect. I've seen firsthand how the surveillance state weaponizes technology against its own citizens. Enough is enough. The Surveillance Accountability Act puts the Constitution back in charge. It protects every American from out-of-touch control of the federal government that thinks it owns your data, your movements, and your life. I want to thank Congressman Thomas Massie. I want to thank Naomi for the years of work that they have put into this piece of legislation. I am honored to co-sponsor the Surveillance Accountability Act, and I urge many more members to join this. In fact, at a FISA roundtable that we had with the speaker and other members last night, I suggested that we put together a surveillance task force and actually move on working to solve these issues that go far beyond FISA and 702. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a few questions now, if you have any about the bill. Try to keep the topic to the bill. Does anybody have a question? Yeah, sure.
Caitlin Kim.
Colorado Public Radio. So I know you want. How do you see this bill playing with the FISA negotiations going on, with everything else? Would you want to see movement on the bill in concert with negotiations on FISA, or do you see this going on a separate track?
I think it's the art of the deal. They're asking for too little right now here on these FISA negotiations. It's mother may I, pretty please, give us some breadcrumb, some morsel in this FISA reauthorization to give us some hope that we're not being spied on. What they should be addressing comprehensively is all of the ways that we're being spied on, and they're not. So I think, we got to put the goalpost out there, and that's where they should be reaching. And when they go into the FISA negotiations, they should understand it's just a very small part of what needs to be changed. The only reason we're talking about FISA right now is it's expiring. And these other bills aren't expiring. Some of them don't have expiration dates. And so it's an opportunity, I think, to talk about all of the bills in the context of this FISA battle right now.
Yeah, I think I would say we as members of Congress should act like we're about to lose our country. Like, let's just pretend that we will lose everything if we don't actually take action and get a grip on the overgrown, overreaching federal government. We all came here with a promise to limit the federal government, and the one briefing that we're never going to be offered, as many of you know, we've been pulled into all sorts of skiffs, and we want to tell you all the things that you need to hear that the American public just isn't smart enough to hear, so we have to tell you in secret. And it's always the world is falling apart, everyone's going to die if we don't do something to reauthorize FISA. But the briefing that you are never going to get, that we as members of Congress are never going to get from any federal agency is, hi, you have given us too much authority, please take some of it back. They are never going to bring us into a skiff and say they have too much access into your lives, into the American people's lives. And so we are trying to constrain the federal government and limit that access, especially when it comes to the third-party doctrine and warrantless surveillance of American citizens.
We have a very small window of opportunity because tech is advancing so quickly, and we have to move pretty fast, because if we get to a state where we no longer have privacy, we will no longer have the self-correcting mechanisms in our society that protect our freedom. We will no longer be able to have investigative journalists. We will no longer be able to have opposition parties. We will no longer be able to have a protest movement. And we know this by looking across the world at all of the countries that have a panopticon already set up. We can look at places like China, where they have no independent media, they have no whistleblowers, they have no dissidents, no protest movement at all. We do not want to become like that. And that is why the Fourth Amendment is so important, because it safeguards that underpinning freedom of society. So we cannot lose privacy in the name of safety, because otherwise, come tomorrow, none of us are going to have safety anymore. The wolf is already going to be inside the gate. So we have to act really fast before we hit that tipping point and become a panopticon.
I want to reinforce something that Representative Boebert said. They bring you into these skiffs and they try to pretend they're giving you new information that's not already public. And then after you
so
go
again,
into...
they're talking a little bit about what they're calling warrantless government spying. Obviously, you heard that they're trying to get an act passed. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we have something amazing for you. What could it be? Fox 29 employee children. Yeah, it's Take Your Kids to Work Day. So we're going to interview the kids right after this. back, everybody. It is Take Your Kid to Work Day, and so far, our 2 trainees have lost 2 kids. So far, they've lost 2 kids. Do you know what your dad does here for work? Like if you had to guess. Does he drive a truck?
No,
Does he treat patients?
probably not.
Probably not. What do you think he does? Does he write words? Does he tell people what to do?
Yeah, he tells people what to do, basically.
Okay. Does he tell you what to do at home?
A lot.
Yes. And the spiffy shirt, that's an ode to your dad. Your dad always has the good shirts on.
Yep.
Okay. So wait, under here, hi. Okay, so Adrian is in charge of HR here. Do you know what being in charge of HR means?
No.
It means you're supposed to follow the rules and stuff like that. You said you wanted to work the camera. Do you want to work the camera?
Yes.
Okay, come on out. Let's do it. Wait, is that your brother over there? How did he get stuck over there?
I don't know.
Okay, if you can get out, get out. We got to talk to you. Okay, you're going to be in charge of the camera. What does your dad do here? What is his job?
Make shows?
He makes shows. Yes. Oh, did you want the microphone?
No.
Okay, all right.
Nah.
All right. Now, you guys, I work a lot with your dad. You know this, yes?
Yep.
What do you think your dad does here?
He's a photographer.
Okay, and you?
He's a photographer.
Is he anything more than a photographer?
A chief photographer.
And what does that mean? Is he the boss of people?
Yes.
Okay, and is he the boss of you guys?
Yes. Not really. Not all the time.
Not all the time. Your mom is the boss of you. I mean, come on, tell the truth. All right, so it's been fun having you. Do you know who we lost? Apparently there's some kids that we lost.
Yeah, one of them still at, yes.
Hold on.
One of them still at the lunchroom.
Oh, one of them's in the lunchroom?
Yep.
Okay, should we go get him?
No.
No.
She made herself at home.
She made herself at home. We'll see you guys tomorrow at noon. Thank you for running the camera, by the way. Are you cool down there?